Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela. This is my first YouTube video. So exciting, also a little scary. This is my first YouTube channel for my channel, My Simply Beauty. I have a blog currently called mysimplybeautyblog.com. Check it out. And on this channel, I'm going to be doing beauty reviews, how-tos, makeup tutorials, basically everything when it comes to beauty, hacks, tips, tricks, and beauty redefined. I personally am looking to make beauty more attainable and more reachable for everyone, not so scary, not so daunting, and that's what I'm hoping to bring with you guys in this channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I get this day-to-day makeup look, very simple, very fresh, very natural, with a few tips and tricks along the way. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it. Also, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and if there's any requests that you guys have down below for upcoming videos, I am a brand new channel, so I'm open to any suggestions and I'll be happy to record anything for you guys. So I would love to hear from you. Just let me know and I'll get to it. So let's get started now. The first step in my makeup routine is always to prime, and I have super oily skin. It's been getting better throughout the months, but it's still very, very oily. So I'm always looking for a primer that will not only kind of mattify my face, but also help my foundation last on my face throughout the day. Since I do get oily, it kind of like slips away. It looks all weird throughout the day, even if I set it. So I've been looking for a primer for months and months and months. I thought I found my holy grail until recently I found the best primer combo that has worked for my skin. The first one is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. This stuff is amazing. I'll explain about it in a second. And the second one is the e.l.f. Poreless Primer, but it's the matte version. So here we go. These are both in conjunction amazing. On their own, they're still pretty good, but together is where it's at. So this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer is pretty much exact dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and it's only $8, which is amazing. I love the Milk Hydro Grip, but it is super pricey, and I'm not really looking for to spend that much money just on a primer. So what I first like to do is I really like the packaging here, and there's a pump. I take about one pump first, and I start applying it to my face. And this primer smells amazing. It smells like watermelons. If you're not a fan of watermelons, this might not be the one for you, but it smells really good. And then another thing is that this primer really dries down really fast, so you have to work super quick. So when you first put on this primer, you might feel a little sticky feeling on your face. It's totally normal. It's a little uncomfortable at first, I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like glue. But it's really good. It's also called the Dew Primer, and I was a little concerned at first because I do have very oily skin, like I just mentioned, but it doesn't make my skin oily or dewy or anything. It really just makes the foundation just stick to my face. So once I put this on, I let it dry for like a few seconds, and then I go straight in with the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. This is what it looks like. It's just a white balm. And it's sheer, so if you are worried about this white cast on your face, it's not gonna happen. So what I like to do is I just like to dip my finger right into it, not too much, and I put it basically in the areas where I get super oily. So I put it maybe around my cheek area, in the crevices of my nose, because that's the best way to avoid that cakey nose. I also take a little more, put it on this side as well, and then also on my forehead, because I do get a little bit oily there. A little bit does go a long way with this, and then once you do spread it, it's really easy for it to get spread out. And as you can tell, there's really no white cast on my face. And this combo of the e.l.f. primers, the Dewy Jelly Pop, as well as this one, together they really make my foundation just stick to my face. So after I'm primed and my primer kind of sinks in and gets all good and synced into my skin, I use foundation. So this is my everyday makeup routine, so I don't really like to like cake it on, or I'm not too sheer either, because this is the routine I would do if I'm going to like a little like outing for some reason, if I have to go to the grocery store. I might not put on makeup, but let's say if I'm going to like some errand, like shopping to the mall to get something, I would put this on. So I don't really like a full coverage look because I just feel like it's not very natural. As you'll tell throughout the video, I really prefer like a natural makeup look. So the foundation that I really like to use is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation. I have 2 shades. Right now, since I'm a little pale, I'm in the shade 415. I have shade 420 as a backup. So this foundation is really nice because it can definitely be built up, and it's also very natural on the skin. So it doesn't have like a matte finish. It doesn't have a dewy finish either. It's like a satin matte, like a demi matte, and it's really, really nice, especially with my oily skin. It doesn't get too oily, and these primers definitely do good too. But this foundation lasts all day, and as I said, it can be built up, so you can have it be either super natural or it can just be wham bam, full glam. And I like to wear this, to apply this with either like my fingers sometimes if I'm looking for a super sheared out look, or I can apply with my beauty sponge. So today I'm gonna apply with my beauty sponge, but I don't apply too much of it because I really do like a natural look to my skin. I use this beauty sponge right here. It's just a blue one, and this is, I feel, such an amazing sponge. I got it on Amazon. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna do a little video about these because these are totally life-changing, and I have like 5 colors of these and they're so good. When you get them wet, they're pretty big. You can't really tell how big it is right now, maybe, but it's really small, and then it just gets really big when you get it wet. So to apply it, I take my sponge and I put about 1.5 pumps of foundation, and I just pounce it on. I do only 1 pump because I do like to shear it out. For the everyday, I do like a light to almost medium coverage for my skin, and if I do want a full coverage, I'll do like 2 pumps and just keep layering it on. So here's 1 pump. Let's do it. Boom. We're good. One thing about this product is that it has a really strong scent. So if you're someone that's pretty sensitive to scents, I would not recommend you use this because it is really strong. But the best part is that the scent does not linger. It kind of is gone, and it doesn't last all day. So what I have on my skin, I do have a lot of like little birthmarks and freckles. I do like to kind of cover them, but not totally get rid of them. So I do like to put on my foundation so that it gives my skin tone like an even look, but not so much that it kind of washes me out. Remember to always take your foundation down your neck, and we're good. I do want a little more coverage on my cheek area, so I'm just going to do a tiny little drop just to cover up those cheeks. I do have also, I didn't mention in the beginning, I do have pretty big pores, and that e.l.f. primer, not only does it mattify me, but it also really fills in my pores too, so it's really nice. And I'm just going to do a little bit more. So it just depends. Typically I do 1 pump of foundation, and then I'll see how I like it, how it goes. Put on my eyelids. But as I said, I do like a pretty natural look to my skin, so I don't like to put too much. So up close you can kind of see my skin is still having a little bit of life to it, a little bit of dew. You can still see my freckles and little birthmarks, but my skin does have like an evenness to it, which is what I look for in my day-to-day. So now that we have put our foundation on, for every day I have to think, like, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm going outside, if I'm going just grocery store shopping, like, what am I doing? So this step is an option sometimes for me. It is setting it. This is my favorite setting powder ever. It's the Maybelline Fit Me loose finishing powder in the shade Fair Light. I really love this powder because it does provide a little extra coverage because it is tinted. So I think you can see it does have a little tint to it. It's not totally translucent, so it does provide a little extra coverage, but it really does help to keep your oils at bay throughout the day if you have oily skin like me. I will actually put it on today just to demonstrate how to do it, but I do use the same blender. You don't have to do much to it. I just take it, dip it in, get that blender kind of saturated in it, and then I just pound it and press it into the area where, again, I get the oiliest. So dip it again. I know loose powder might seem intimidating if you're starting off your makeup at first, or it might seem like a step that is very, very extra if you're doing a quick makeup, but with time this has really become like one of my favorite steps because it really helps to keep my oils at bay. But with these primers I don't really have to set, which is amazing. You can also, if you don't want to use a loose powder, you can also use a like a regular foundation powder to set anywhere you like. Where you get oily, you can do that as well. And if you guys noticed, I don't put on concealer because I do have a pretty quick, natural, everyday routine. I feel like concealer is a step that is just very extra for me. I don't even know really how to conceal properly, and every time I do try to conceal, I have used a few concealers. I use them on my under eyes, and I use them also to highlight my face, and I feel like my skin looks very cakey throughout the day. Like, it just looks like I'm just wearing a lot. And as you can tell by my face right now, I'll zoom you guys in a little bit, I like that really natural look to my skin. So concealer is not really there. If I do have like a pimple or like a zit or something I want to cover, I do use concealer just to spot conceal, but I'm not really a concealer kind of girl. So once your face is nice and set, you can kind of push it in. And if you find that like your skin looks a little powdery after you do powder your skin, which it might look powdery, this beauty blender, it holds water really well. It's not too wet, so it doesn't make my skin like oily or anything like that, or too wet. But it really works fantastic to just kind of push those powders in and just melt everything together. So I love it. Now that my base is done, I go in with so I'm pretty washed out. I'm pretty like one note, and I'm happy with how it looks. It just looks like a natural finish. I go in with bronzer. Now, don't make fun of me, but this is what my bronzer looks like. I actually have a backup right here, proof. But this is what my bronzer looks like. It's the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. It is amazing. I have obviously put it to good use. If you're fair skin like me, they do this bronzer in such an amazing way because there's 3 shades, I believe, available: 100, 200, and I believe 300. I got mine at Ulta, but their undertones for this bronzer is what really attracted me towards it. I used to love the butter bronzer, but I found that when I used it, even the light version, my skin looked pretty orange and muddy and just not natural, which is what I personally like. And you can do both contouring with this and bronzing. Today I'm gonna bronze it because, again, this is my everyday routine. I don't contour on a day-to-day, so I'm not gonna use my contour brush, but I'll show you guys in later videos how to make it a little more sculpted. So I use my favorite bronzing brush. It's the M180 from Morphe. I really like this brush because it's very fluffy and it does kind of diffuse your bronzer. So believe it or not, there is a bunch of product still left here. I'm going to use it until it's not there anymore. I swirl it around, tap off the excess, and just apply it to my cheeks. Remember to always take bronzer down the neck as well. And I will admit it, I am a bronzer kind of girl, so sometimes I do go overboard, but it's only because I love it. So you blend it in, you diffuse it. These lights kind of make it look a little harsh, but you just apply it to bring back some warmth to the skin. So you can kind of see, when I do come in a little closer, you can kind of see that I do have a little bit of warmth back in my skin. It's not just totally one note, which is something that I personally really, really like. So we're just gonna add it here, kind of add it everywhere. Love bronzer. Now, if you see that, like, on this side, I'm not gonna lie, my bronzer does look a little harsh. Not as harsh as it looks on camera, though. I do take my beauty blender or a clean sponge, and I just kind of press over where I applied my bronzer. It kind of evens it out, and it doesn't look too cuckoo, which is what I love. Wow, this bronzer blends like a dream. I love the shade of it. The undertone is also beautiful. So this bronzer is definitely a winner in my eyes. The next step that I do is blush. I used to not like, oh, see, from here you can kind of see like my face kind of has a little more of like a sculpt to it with a little bit of bronziness, but nothing too crazy, which is what I love. So the next step that I do, again, like I just said, is blush. And for blush, I also used to not really like it because I felt like it just didn't look natural for a day-to-day. Obviously, like for like a date night or like a night out, blush is the way to go. But for every day, it just gave me a flush that I wasn't liking until I found this baby, and I haven't been able to put it down. This is the Milani powder blush. I use mine in the shade Romantic Rose. I've used it for a very long time and not much of a dent has been made. Beautiful flower, it's amazing packaging. One thing I really like about this blush is that it gives you color, but it's not too harsh, and it can be built up, which is my favorite thing. I like to use my Morphe E4. Here you go. My Morphe E4, it has like an angle to it, so it kind of just like guides you how to apply it. You can really use any blush brush that you like. It doesn't have to be this one. I just like it. So what I do is I just swirl it around, tap off the excess, and just apply it on the apples of my cheeks, going back. I love blush, so I apply like a good amount of it, but you don't have to apply as much as me. I apply it on the apples of my cheeks as I'm smiling, and the goal is to kind of like make your blush blend into your bronzer so that it's kind of like a cohesive look. So what you do is, instead of just applying it, you could do it however you like, but how I do it is I apply it here, and instead of just leaving it here so it's like a circle of blush, I like to apply it and then slowly diffuse it to the sides. And then the same way here. Apply it and then slowly diffuse it into your bronzer. Again, looks a little harsh on camera, but in person it looks perfect. If you do find that you are not liking how it looks, you could always, again, use your beauty blender and just pounce a little bit, and it kind of like makes everything just melt into the skin. The next step in my routine is probably my favorite step ever, and it's highlighting. I highlight way more than I need to. I'm not afraid to admit it, and I really like it because even like for an everyday kind of makeup look, it kind of brings like light back into your face. I don't know, I don't really wear the most natural highlights, so I'm not the best advice giver on like natural highlight because I love a highlight. But my favorite highlight that I've discovered lately that has been a staple in my everyday makeup routine is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder. So I've heard about this a lot, making its rounds on the internet, but I never really wanted to try it because I heard that like loose highlighters are kind of like hard to use and they're kind of complicated, and kind of messy. But I was like, you know what, let me just give it a shot because it was at my Target and it was a mini and I love anything mini. So I gave it a shot and I was floored. The shade for my highlight it's called I'm So Lit, which is like the perfect like champagne silver gold. They do have many shades available and they are all gorgeous. I just decided to try this one, but I do want to try more because sometimes like throughout the summer I do get a little more tan. I do want a different color. Plus these are gorgeous on your eyes. If you do take a little bit after you apply something to your crease, you just take a 1-2 and it looks so nice and shiny. So I'm gonna definitely pick up more because it's beautiful. I'm pretty sure you guys noticed I also don't do my brows because I do feel like a structured brow is very unnatural. So what I usually do before I start doing my makeup is I take just a spoolie and I just kind of brush out my brows. Sometimes if I do find that I have like a sparse area because I overplucked, I do fill it in, and I'll show you guys the favorite pencil in an upcoming video. But for every day, I don't bother with that. So back to highlight. I use the Mega Glow highlighting powder in I'm So Lit, and the packaging, like, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little messy, but it's very worth it because it's beautiful. So this is it. It's just pure deliciousness. I love anything shiny. But as you can see, some product does get into the cap, and trust me, that is enough probably for almost both of my cheeks. I mean, maybe not because I love a little extra. I use the Morphe M510, M510. You could use any highlighting brush again. I just prefer, I just really like this one because it really diffuses the product, and I like how thin it is and easy to use. I have like 3 of these brushes because they're so nice. So you take it into the cap, dust off the excess because it's powerful, and then you just, oh, do you guys see that shine? It's gorgeous. It gives you like that glow, and it's just not glittery, it's not chunky, anything. It's beautiful. So you take the rest in the cap and you do it to the side as well. I'm gonna add a little bit more just so you guys can see it, the full effect. Not that I would do this for every day, but since you guys want to see it, of course I'll do a little extra highlight. Oh my gosh, it is literally, look at that. It's gorgeous. For every day, and I also like to put it on my nose because it gives me that like healthy little glow. I love it. Now for every day, maybe this is a little crazy for some people, but I love to look beaming and highlighted, and it just, I feel like it gives me like a little health. Everybody does kind of like say like, Angela, what are you doing? And like, it's a thing, okay? You can't say anything to me. I love it. But if you are a more natural guy or girl, you can of course put a little bit less. This is very easy to build up, or you can use like a powder highlight, but this is the stuff. It's so good and it's so affordable. There's so much in here, and you saw I don't use a lot, so definitely will last a long time. But if you do see that like you applied way too much highlight and you kind of want to diffuse it, take your sponge, same sponge that we use, and just push it into the area where you feel like you over applied, and it kind of just like melts the product in. I mean, I'm not trying to melt it in, I'm trying to like keep it, well, I want to melt it in, but I still want it to be a little crazy, which is what I love. But you can push it in and it kind of will make it go away. You can also use a foundation brush with some like powder on it and just kind of wear away so it kind of diffuses it. How many times did I say kind of there? A lot. Now for every day, my base is pretty much done. So I have my foundation, I have my bronzer, blush, highlight. That's pretty much what I wear every day. I have done this routine in a matter of like 10 minutes. It's that easy. Now for, again, like I said, for every day, I don't do my brows. I just kind of brush them. I don't do concealer as well because I feel like that isn't really necessary for my skin. I also don't do eye makeup. If I have time, I will take a little bit of my trusty bronzer with a little bit of an eyeshadow brush and kind of put it in the crease and also my under eye. I love little like bronzer in my lower lash line, but today I don't have time for that, so this is pretty much literally every single day. Now to my favorite step ever. Not highlight, I know, it's my favorite step ever, better than highlight, is mascara. Now I don't wear false lashes. Never, ever, ever. Even if it's like a super glam event, like I never wear false lashes because I kind of got my mascara routine down and it's something that I love, and I don't want to ever put on false lashes because I love the effect it gives me. Warning, this routine is a little bit excessive, so my whole routine, primer, everything takes about like 10-15 minutes at most. But when it comes to mascara, it takes about like an extra 5 on its own. But I promise you, it's amazing. So the first thing that I do, always the biggest secret to big, beautiful, false looking lashes is primer. I like to use one or the other, sometimes both, depending on what I'm feeling. This is the Voluminous Lash Paradise Primer. It comes with like a pinky hue. It looks like the Lash Paradise mascara. It's the same tube, except it has like a white strip right here. So this is what it looks like. Lash Paradise Primer. And then it looks, the wand looks like this. It's like a pretty pink color and it's amazing. I have repurchased this so many times. It's so good. And then sometimes I got this as a gift for Christmas, so when I'm feeling fancy, I use the Marc Jacobs mascara primer. It's like this. It's really nice and small, but this one has like a beige hue to it. So Just depends. It doesn't really matter. You can use any primer that you like. Another primer that I love to use is the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. Same thing. It's just a white kind of, it's like a white mascara. At first I never used primer because I was really overwhelmed and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to have white lashes, pink lashes, whatever. It doesn't do that. So first step that I do, don't do that. When you do this, it actually creates like air bubbles at the bottom of your mascara, so it doesn't last as long, but I just did that by accident. So you take your primer and you just saturate your brush and you apply it. I only apply it to my tops, and I do my mascara one eye at a time, and then I kind of go between back and forth. I'll walk you through this. If you want gorgeous, voluminous, false looking lashes, this is the way to go. So step one, you prime your lashes. So my lashes are primed. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can definitely see it. This one has white eyelashes and this one doesn't. So you can already tell this primer, look how long my lashes look on this eye compared to this eye. So what eyelash primer does is kind of just like thickens your lashes already. It's like the first coat, like a primer like for your face. It thickens your lashes, it kind of conditions them too, I guess. I read that somewhere. And it's really good. It's a good base to your mascara because you don't have to use too much mascara and it's already like giving you the desired flare that you like. So what I like to go in next is with my favorite mascara ever so far. I love trying new mascaras. This is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. I got this for Christmas and I love it. It's really, really good. I got it for Christmas last year, the year before, 2018 Christmas and 2019 Christmas. So it's so good. It's a little pricey, but like one tube will last you a year. I don't know if I should be using mascara that long, but it will. This is what it looks like. It just says Marc Jacobs. And the brush is like this curvy, sort of voluminous brush. Don't ask me how, I don't know, but this stuff, it just works magic. So I'm gonna apply that really quickly to my prime lash. So now I did one coat of this, about maybe 2 coats. But you can already see when I look to the side, maybe, that this eye is already so much longer than this one. It's crazy. But the next step right away, what you want to do while this mascara is still wet, I go in with my L'Oreal Voluminous Curved Brush Mascara. Looks like this. It's just in the shade black. And I layer it red on top because they do give different effects. That Marc Jacobs one kind of flares your lashes and this one kind of builds them. So I go in with this one next. And we're done. So if you can tell the difference between this eye and this eye, I can definitely see this one. Immediately you can tell that the lashes are just bam. My eye looks more awake. One tip though, after you do layer your mascaras, you can layer any mascaras that work for you and what you're looking for. My lashes, I'm looking for a lift, a curl, or it to stay. Marc Jacobs and the L'Oreal, the curve, as well as some primer, has been magic for me. But what I like to do, my other trick, other than layering, is to use a empty mascara just for the brush, because I do see that sometimes they kind of clump together and I don't really like that. So I use this just to brush out any areas that I might want to kind of fix. So that's pretty much the top lashes done. The next step that I really love to do is my bottom lashes. They immediately give me that like doe-eyed look. So for bottom lashes, you do have a few options here. I don't like the Marc Jacobs one for the bottom lashes. I don't know why, I just don't like it. So for the bottom lashes, I like to go between 2. The first one is the Voluminous Curved Brush, the one that we just used for this eye. And I also, you can't really tell what it is, but this is the Essence, I think it's the Lash Princess. It comes with this purple tube. It's definitely been used and very loved. But this is what the brush looks like. It's just like a curve, just like the L'Oreal one, but the formula I feel like is a little bit different and kind of like thicker. So I apply this one to my lower lashes. If you want wham bam, like perfect, like in your face lower lashes, you can prime. For every day, that's not the thing for me. So I just like to go in like regular, no primer. Just looked at myself. I don't know why I always open my mouth when I do my mascara, but I do. So I just put on like a few coats of this Essence one, and I'm gonna put on a few coats of this one, just to the L'Oreal one, just to layer it right on top. This might seem a little excessive, but for me, like, it doesn't matter what foundation I'm using, how much blush, how much bronzer, how much highlight. I do a super natural face, but then my eyelashes is really what sets me over the edge, because it always just looks like awake and kind of put together. So I'm doing the L'Oreal one now on top. And we got it. So if you guys can tell, it is a huge difference from this eye. This one kind of looks more awake. My lashes are nice and long. The bottoms are very separated. One thing I do like about bottom mascara is that it looks really nice on the face, but I don't like it when it looks clumpy. So using those two, where did it go? My Essence is right here. When you use these two together, you get beautiful and separated lashes. So I'm gonna go do this eye off of camera just to save you guys the whole shindig. But as I said again, I can go over the routine. It's mascara, primer of your choice. I love the L'Oreal one. You can use any one that you like. And then I use my Marc Jacobs mascara, and then I use my L'Oreal mascara, and then for lower lashes I use my Essence. And then don't forget to save an empty mascara tube just to kind of brush out any kinks you might have. So I'm gonna do the other eye off of camera. Okay, so I'm back. Mascara is on this eye as well as this eye. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but it immediately kind of just like ties in the whole look. It doesn't give it an unnatural look, but it also kind of makes it look like I'm a little more put together. So I'm going to kind of look closely at the camera, and you can see if I look to the side that they're much longer, the bottoms as well as the tops. And I don't know about how everybody else does it, but that is just like my favorite way of mascara, of applying mascara. I have a collection that is just insane, and in one of my upcoming videos, if you guys want to see, I can show you all the mascaras I've tried, the ones that worked, the ones that didn't. I still keep those too, just to keep them in the back of my mind, and I can show you guys how to get that beautiful voluminous lashes without any lash glue or anything like that, because I do like beautiful lashes but natural. Now the next step of my routine, it just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm just going out, again, like to the mall, Target, my favorite place in the world, if I'm just going out, I don't really set my face. Ever since I started using this beautiful primer combination, like I mentioned in the beginning, I have super oily skin. But if you are going out and like you have super oily skin, or you really want your skin to kind of just stay in place all day, if you're going out, you're going on a date, or if you're going outside all day, I really recommend the NYX setting spray. This is the matte version. I believe they have a dewy version as well. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. This spray is amazing. It doesn't really have any scent to it. It has a really nice spritz to it. Let's see. You guys see that? It's really nice. It's fine. It's not too intense. Has a slight smell, but not really. So I like to just take this and spray it on my face, but today I'm not really doing anything that needs super long wearing makeup, so I'm not going to be putting that on. And also, if you are looking and you see on your face that like there's some areas again that are not looking too natural, or something that's not looking too good, take your beauty blender, or you can just take like a brush, again, just go over any areas for that final look. And one last tip for you guys, if you are doing your mascara and you notice that you have like some mascara that gets on your eyelid and you're like, oh my god, what do I do? Sometimes it can be super messy to take off, but my ultimate hack, is these little things. They are called DHC olive oil swabs. They're these tiny little swabs. You rip them in the middle. You see it says DHC over here. You can buy these on Amazon. That's the only place that I've bought them. You open it up, they're already pre-moistened with olive oil, so it literally takes 1 second for your mascara to come off. Certain people say like, oh, you're supposed to wait until it dries so that it can just flake off. If you like to do that, you can do that as well. Personally, if I see a problem, I want to take care of it. So I just open it up and just 1, 2, 1, 2, and this literally saves lives. I always take one of these whenever I go out. If you have any smudging that happens on the top, or like your corners or anything from your eyeliner, from anything, this stuff is so good. It removes everything. So if there's one takeaway that you have today, is layer your mascara and the DHC olive oil swabs. I hope you guys like this video. This is my first YouTube video. This is my everyday natural makeup look. I'll kind of get a little closer for you guys. Lashes, highlight, nothing too crazy, but just a very natural look. This is the look that I do whenever I just go for errands or I go anywhere really. I have so many video ideas coming up, so I hope you guys like everything. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and if there's a specific beauty video you guys want, doesn't matter what kind of beauty, nails, hair care, any tips, tricks, mascara hacks, just comment down below and I will be happy to record them for you. Thank you for watching. Bye.